This is the W5FC receiver, PL1110.9. Afterglow Movie Net, Saturday, 10:30 p.m., W5FC.
Chairman, I need to make myself very clear. If we uplink now, Skynet will control your military.
But you'll be in control of Skynet, right?
That is correct, sir.
Skynet.
Before we in the 9 p.m. Skynet. This is KFI PDS. My name is Bill. For this session of the ARP Skynet. Skynet is a weekly net called every Thursday night at 9 p.m. concerning the subject of astronomy. Our purpose is to help amateurs become familiar with the nighttime and daytime sky, astronomy, and in general. This net is open to all amateurs interested in this topic, and we encourage your participation and suggestions in net. Stations with priority urgency traffic enter the net at any time by using the pro sign break and your call sign. Is there any emergency priority traffic? The directed net. Please do not transmit without direction from the control. That would be me. And stations are reminded to ID at your transmission. Weekly operates on 114.880 MHz. TL of 110.9. Check-in via Echo Link are also possible using the V5FC-R station ID or Echo Link node 3724247. Tonight's topic is astronomy pictures and audio video links are available online. Go to www.w5fc.org right now for some list. Tell others about popular net. Amateur operators are welcome. You need not be a member of any amateur radio. Net is 90 minutes long and is structured as Astronomical Society of Dallas events, where and when you can look through a scope. National Space Society events. Discussion topic of the evening was space exploration, space history, circulation of the week, recent astronomical debris, satellite passages over the next couple of days, astronomical Q&A, and 70 rounds. Amateurs licensed to transmit on this frequency are invited to check in. So at this time, I'll turn the net over to my alternate net control, Tom KE5ACX. We'll check in from KFI PDS.
Thank you, Miss Billy. This is KE5ICCX. I'm your alternate net control station this evening. We'll go ahead and take a short time check if you are one of those. And we'll, for that matter, come with your call sign, your name, where you're transmitting from, and let me know if you'll power short time.
Kilo India 5 Gulf Romeo Hotel, Melissa, Insert City, mobile, storm.
This is Key 5 Golf Uniform Sierra Gus, far northeast Dallas.
Kilo Mike Charlie Delta Cody Dallas, low power.
5, uniform. Alpha, uniform. David, Tower, and Mesquite.
All right, we've got KI5GRH, Melissa, Cert City, short time. I got WGUS, Gus, far northeast Dallas, K5MCD, that's Cody in Dallas, power, K5UU, David, low power in Mesquite. Do any additional low power short time, please come out now.
Kilo 5, Sierra X-ray Echo, over.
Okay, I got two stations there. First station, I got KI5 Sierra X-ray Echo. I think. Could I get your name, location, please? Okay, I may have murdered that call. It's a Kilo India 5 call. There's an, if you would, again. All right. There was also a Kilo India 5 call as well, or maybe there was just one, but that one didn't respond either. Very weak in repeaters. So if you just checked in, let's just do it that way. If you've checked in, would you try again, please? Increase bar, improve position. Right, that news station that broke, that was the one that you are nearly all noise today. Come and pull him out, the static hold there, and let me know his call, if you would. He's just all noise to me.
NT5TM.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. What do you got?
I'm not at all sure if this is correct, but I'm just guessing news from TechNet. I'm wondering, was that Duke with AG5 at ALX? Is that you? Okay, it was a good guess. Evidently, didn't work. NT5.
All right, Tony. Well, thanks for the try. I appreciate it. I just could not pull him out. I will ask anyone who is currently in, if you have any announcements or bulletins, now is the time. Review priority simply because you may disappear very soon. If you have an announcement or bulletin and just checked in, please now. Okay, hearing none, let's go ahead and get started with general check-ins. Please come out with your call sign, your name, and where you're transmitting from. General check-ins.
November 5, Bravo, Bill in Irving.
No, Tango 5, Tango Mike, Tony in Dallas.
India 5, Romeo 10, Mike, John on Grapevine.
Whiskey Bravo 5, Oscar Zulu Lima, Brendan DeSo.
This is Alpha Golf Niner, Sierra Golf, Antonio in Dallas.
Kilo India 5, Star Golf Mike, Travis and Garland.
This is
Victor 5, Foxtrot, Virginia in Fort Worth.
This Alpha 5 for Hotel Richardson. This is
Kilo 5, Whiskey Victor Lima, James and Carlton. Kilo Foxtrot 5, Zulu Bravo, Bill, Farmers Branch.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Juliet Hotel Alpha, has alien from outer space currently visiting Mesquite.
All right, let me go ahead and get those folks checked in. I've got N5E, Bill and Irving, E5TM, Tony and Dallas, K55RPM, that's John and Fine. Welcome, WB50ZL, Brenda and Dodo, 8AG9SG, Antonio and Dallas, KIPGM, Travis and Garland, N5 Victor Foxtrot, Virginia, and Fort Worth, AAH, Robertson, KGG5, Wiki Victor Lima, that's James and Carrollton, KF5B, Bill, Farmers Branch, KFJHA, as the alien from Mesquite. I'll make additional check-ins. Please come now with your call sign, your name, where you're transmitting from.
This is Kilo Golf 5, Alpha Papa Lima, Chicken Dallas Plus.
Kilo India, Kilo Whiskey Golf Cruise in Arlington.
And we picked up, I got KGG5AL, that's Patrick and Kendall, KF5KAWG, Cruise in Arlington. Anyone else before I move over to Echo? All right, it's time to move to Echo Link. If you could join us via Echo Link, please come now with your call sign, phonetic name, where you're transmitting from. Echo Link, folks, I will give you extra time. Please go ahead.
Golf 5, Bravo, Zulu, Jay,
This is Kilo 5, Kilo Tango X-ray, breakout in point.
Your weather, KTX, Miss Kelly in point. Now open it up to anyone, any mode who'd like to join us. Please come to your call name, where you're trans any mode. All right. Well, Millie, I guess that's it for the round. We have 23 seconds. Back to you. E5ICX.
thank you to everyone. Welcome to this evening's net for Skynet. Get started with general announcements. Do we have any general announcements for this evening's net? These can be ham, astronomical, space, or of general interest to licensed hams. If you haven't announced this evening's net, now with your call sign.
November 5, Bravo. November Tango 5, Tango Mike.
Start with N5DD. Bill, good evening. What is for us this evening?
Hi, Billy. I have several items. First, I have a science item. And Tony will be happy it's a bird item. A research study has shown that parrots really like to communicate with other parrots via video chat. That's right. Set up a video chat system which was requested by the parrots. In other words, the parrots go over it like in Bell, and then the humans would come over and turn on the video chat, and parrots would actually sometimes choose which parrot they'd like to communicate with. And the parrots would then do different things. They could get things and show it to the other parrot. And they really got into this. They really liked it. So I thought that was a really interesting thing about parrots that are very social birds. So the next item is the Irving Amateur Radio Club had some wind damage and windstorms recently to some of our instances. And some of the repeaters were off the air for a little bit earlier this week. But fortunately, they're all back. So the Irving 1672 megahertz repeater is back, same location and everything. Our main 440 repeater, the 442.675, is now at a different location, different hardware, different idea, but different physical location in Irving. And 442.375 repeater is also been up for a while, is operational. Our 220 repeater is probably off right now. I haven't checked. We've had some big problems with it. So it may not be working. Probably not until we get it fixed. Then I just want to throw in another reminder. A reminder that EarthX is still gone. The EarthX event at Fair Park ends tomorrow. So it will be you can still do EarthX tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. This is free. Fair Park in downtown Dallas, where the fair is held. And if you go in the main entrance of Fair Park, if you like go on the light rail down to the Green Line, down to the Park station, and you go right in that main entrance. You go right down by the food truck, and then it's a long, water esplanade, the water event, water pool. It's the buildings on both sides of that. Automotive building on the right has got kind of most of the exhibits. Probably the one on the left has got things involving wetlands, and other things like that. And the Astronomy Dark Skies group. I haven't seen him yet. I know there. I walked the booth, but I haven't gotten in to look at it. The Dark Skies group, promoting Dark Skies, is in one of those buildings. The one on the left as you walk in. I think it's a Centennial building. And I want to remind everybody, another excuse to do this, the International Space Development Conference is right in May. This huge international conference where you too can learn about how we're going to live on the moon, how we're going to survive, cosmic rays going to Mars. we're going to who's going to build the next space hotel and replace the International Space Station with future stations. So go to look for ISDC and International Space Development Conference 2023. That's all I got inside BBB. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. All right, next up is NP5. Tony, good evening. What announcements do you have for us evening?
Thanks and good evening. Not a yes. I did want to remind everyone that our Blue movie is Short Circuit, an actual major studio production, not a black and white movie. It was stop bugs or something, but no, real actual blockbuster popular movie. I saw it in theaters. Aaron likes it too. I know it's one of Virginia and Venus' favorite movies. You know, it was really popular. So come out tonight and discuss a good movie with us. After good movie discussion, 10:30 plus minus 5 minutes. That's right on this repeater. And of course, I also remind everyone that we have GeekNet this Monday at 7 p.m. I'll be net control, as long as it works out that way. And any topic welcome. It doesn't have to be ham radio related. Anything you like to geek out about. I have personally really struck how many butterflies there are flying Dallas area lately. Spring is wonderful. So who knows what about? But we'll definitely talk about butterflies a little bit. That's actually just about all I had, except, I guess technically you do have about an hour and 40 minutes left. There's a very unusual contest on the SSSB print. You I believe have a website at ssprint.com. Obviously, I can't do that because I have too many nets tonight, but it's a lot of fun if you're into contest testing. Give it a quick try. T5TM back net.
Is there anyone else on frequency that has an announcement? If so, please come now with call sign. I'm hearing any, so I'll go ahead with the announcements. The AMSAT Radio Amateur Satellite Group has installed and users. You can find the net under groups and AMSAT. Also, a live audio link is available on their website at www.amsatnet.com. This net originates in Houston, Texas. Plus AMSAT East Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on this repeater. We're 106.880 megahertz with a bill tone of 110.9. Tom and 5HYT net control. All are welcome to check back in. First Tuesday of the month is the DARC Club Night, so there's no AMBs on that. Dallas and Net West through Wednesday at 9 p.m. on the Arlington repeater, 147.140 megahertz, with a PO of 110.9 and a positive off. DARC hosts several Monday night nets. First Monday of the month is Ham Fix Net. This is where you can come and share recipes, or share an anecdote or a discussion about food. The second Monday is MCOM 101 Emergency Community. The third Monday of the month, come back for a second helping of Hamson's Net. The fourth week is GeekNet. There's every fifth month. It is a surprise net. If we told you what it was, it wouldn't be a surprise. On-air participation is encouraged. Net East at PM, Q&A, info, and news for amateur satellites. And Friday uses Search City simulation at 8 p.m. Learn about emergency radio communications and CERT-trained amateur radio operators. Melissa, KI5, DRA, CCC is in control. the most disaster-prone city in the universe every Friday. Third City, all are welcome. And Saturdays is the Night of Nets, with net from 7 to 8. And of course at 9 p.m., Sky. And as Tony mentioned, following Skynet at 10:30, Afterglow Movie Net. More on that in a moment. First and third Sundays is Dallas Amateur Radio Club's meeting on the air. And Billy is the ARRL Net National Traffic System Training Net night at 6:30 Central Time. All are welcome to check on any or all of these nets. As Tony mentioned, following Skynet at 10:30 is the Afterglow Movie Net. If you're new to frequency and not sure how the Afterglow movie works, we have a list of movies that we announce the movie to be watched during the week, and then we'll check on the Saturday net and just discuss the movie. And we'll discuss everything from plot and characterization to visual effects, music, and any other trivia or tidbits of the movie. And then at the end of the net, the next movie will be announced, and we watch that the following week, and just keep on repeating that. It's a lot of fun. You can join us for that tonight. After Skynet will be Afterglow Movie Net. So at this time, I'll turn that over to Tom 5ICX to give us tonight's Astro info from KFI CDS.
Well, thank you, Billy, and the KE5ICX. Here it is, my highly accurate synopsis of the movie tonight. It was police lineup, one which even seasoned cops could dispute. They had rounded up the usual suspects. All 5 computers, rope and devices stood up against the wall. First was M5, that murderous computer that tried to kill Kirk and his Enterprise crew. Then Lilu, better known as the Fifth Element. Then there was Travel Pod number 5, the cute little spaceship from Starfleet, used to transport needy and aging space engineers to their stars. And finally, Johnny, a misgiving robot, obviously running on Windows. The operating system is functional utility robot. If something was up with the strange robot, as they seem to be stealing batteries out of parked cars for some mysterious cabinet. Join us for Virginia's favorite movie of time, Short Circuit from 1985 at 10:30 p.m. We're up to the high school making a call. Back to you, Billy, the E5ICX.
Can't wait for the Afterglow movie. Alright, you can keep up with all the DARC events activities by going to the club website, w5fc.org. Next up is the Astronomical Solstice of Dallas event, where when you can watch your telescope. So this time I'll turn the net over to Chen 5JA with information of past from KFPDS.
Thank you, Billy. Good evening, everyone. The first thing I want to do is see if we can get KE5AIT Randy. Then he tried to do that over on Link, and it didn't work earlier. I don't see him on the link, but he did try to check in. So let's put him on the list. Anyway, Tom, I seem to remember a different movie named Short Circuit that didn't quite have the same plot, but number 5 is alive. Oh, I'm sorry. See what I'm supposed to talk about. The next Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas Club meeting will be held on Friday, April 28th. That's in 6 days. The meeting will be held at 7:30 a.m. in person at the University of Dallas, also held on Zoom. The featured speaker will be Lonnie Luigi, and the topic will be about the state of the scope industry. Now, Saturday night observing sessions have begun again. Skynet was picked to be on Saturday night, so that there'd be opportunity for live reports from the past public observation sessions. Now, tonight would be the 4th Saturday of the month, and that would be stargazing held at Rockwell, but I believe it will be canceled to the clouds tonight. You can check the past website, texasastro.org, for up-to-date information and details about and observing sessions. And this is KF5HA. Backdoor and control. Bill, it's back to you, KF5 PDS.
Yes, this is KFTDS, Billy Control for this section of the DARCC Skynet. Alright, next up is NASA Space Society events and activities. So I once again return the net to Bill N5BD if you'll give us multiple space for the events and activities update. KFTDS. I'm not hearing Bill. Are you? Alright, yes, N5BD. Things. So while we're waiting, I'll go ahead and give an advertising alert. The National Space Society of North Texas has an active Facebook page. This is the National Space Society of North Texas into Fox and return access. You'll receive reminders and activities. And the National Space Society of North Texas website is ntx.nss.org. Bill, N5BD, if you're here, we'd love to hear your announcement about events and activities for the National Space Society. We'll come back to Bill. I'll head the next segment is the NCS this evening. So I'll go ahead and do a report, and then we'll check back and see if Bill is there to give us the announcement for National Space Society. All right, my topic for this evening is Blueberry Mars, otherwise known as Martian sparrows. So Martian sparrows, also known as hematite sparrows, blueberries, and Martian blueberries, this is from Wikipedia, are small spherules, roughly spherical pebbles that are rich in iron oxide and are found at the meridian planets, a plane on Mars, in exceedingly large numbers. Spherules were discovered for sure on the sole Martian day that NASA's Mars Exploration Rover Opportunity landed at Meridiani Planum at NASA's Mission Control Building that January 24. They are gray, but look bluish next to the ubiquitous reds on Mars. And so the first aerial found in a crater was 3 to 6 millimeters in diameter. The Opportunity team quickly called them blueberries. Martian blueberries are either embedded or lit. That is, Martian blueberries are either embedded in a large body of sediment of meridian, or they are loose blueberries that lie directly on outcrops of the sediment or lie on topsoil spread over the Meridiani sediment. The size of these spherules varies by location and elevation across Meridiani planet. Martians are rich in the iron oxide hematite, but determining how rich they are in this iron oxide has proven difficult. Formation of the blueberries required aqueous chemistry, and it involved flows of acidic, salty liquid water over the Meridiani planet and over 2 geological epochs. Emissions since TES on the orbiter Mars Global Surveyor detected crystalline gray hematite within the Skynet Meridiani. The discovery was part of other efforts to map Mars for minerals associated with past water. Between 1997 and 2002, the Mars Global Surveyor mapped the whole planet of Mars for hematite levels. Just one large spot covering a region with high hematite levels. 1990s, NASA officials want to delineate a framework faster, better, cheaper exploring Mars. In this context, the water strategy was outlined in 1995 and 1996. Priority goals for NASA in the mid-1990s were to gather some evidence of surface water using satellite surveys and to land robotic rovers on the surface to collect detailed local evidence of water and of life. In the early 2000s, the hematite map and the confirmations, the topography map by the Mars Global Surveyor, that this is a flat plain and relatively easy to land on, were the decisive pieces of evidence for using Meridiani Planum as one of the landing sites for NASA's two bigger explorations named Opportunity and Spirit. The decisive for NASA of the hematite for choosing landing site for Opportunity was because NASA was using high hematite levels as proxy evidence for large amounts of liquid water flowing in the region in the past. Hematite only forms in the presence of liquid water in geological settings. In 2003, the hematite region was a high priority place start to search signs of life on Mars. The hematite map covered part of a larger area called the Sinus Meridiani of 19th century Mars mappers. In 2004, senior science for the upcoming MER Opportunity mission included place name Meridiani Planum for the high hematite area. Rover Opportunity successfully made the whole one landing into Eagle Crater at Meridiani Planum on January 25, 2004. On the first full Martian day, the rover immediately discovered thousands and thousands of small 4-millimeter diameter spherules lying all over the place inside Eagle Crater. That's viewed from Opportunity's PanCam on the first sol. The PanCam team, Jim Bell, wrote about this view. Scientists are intrigued by the abundance of outcrops dispersed throughout the crater, as well as the crater soil, which appears to be a mixture of coarse grains and fine reddish grains. Quickly found that the gray spherules are in gray hematite. Testing concluded doing the Soul experiment. Moniker Blueberries was coined for gray type spherules. National Opportunity Science Team due to these appearing bluish relative to underlying rusty red soils, and the natural color are images. Blueberries are either embedded in the large body sediments of Meridiani Planum, or they are loose blueberries that are directly on outcrops of sediments, or on topsoil spread over the Meridiani sediment. The loose blueberries are eroded out of the underlying sediment. Today's embedded blueberries and the loose blueberries formed in the sediments of Meridiani Planum by diagenetic processes. In other words, processes that change sediment by water-rock interactions. The diagenetic processes not formed embedded blueberries, but also changed the large body of sediment. The blueberry formation was a three-step process. Formation of the original body of sediment, diagenetic transcription of the sediment to produce base sediments, and erosion of top of the sediments to form topsoils and blueberries. The steps involve simple sub-step processes, and there are several mentions in the article talking about those details. Analogs, researchers from the University of Utah have explored the similarities with concretions discovered within thick Navajo sandstone in southern Utah. They have concluded Mars must have had previous groundwater activity to Blueberries. However, they do know spherules are more spherical than the Martian sample due to the lack of joints, fractures, faults, or other preferential fluid paths. Unlike the Utah sample, a team of researchers from Japan studied the spherules found in Utah, as well as spherules that were later discovered in Mongolia in the Gobi. Found evidence that the concretions in these locations are first formed as spherical calcite concretions in sandstone This water rich in iron and dissolve the calcite, leaving behind iron-rich hematite spiral. This leads to the conclusion that the berries may have formed early in Mars history. The atmosphere was cleansed by the same process. So there's a lot more on that Wikipedia article. So if you're interested in read on the Martian blueberries, feel free to explore the article. There is also aerospace.si.edu. There's an article on that website. There's also an article on mars.nasa.gov with lots more information and pictures. There you have it, a brief report on Martian blueberries. This is K5CDS, Billy, your next control for this edition of the ARCC Skynet. This time I'd like to call again on Bill, IVD. You're there to give National Space Society events and activities updates. So this is to NC from KF5CDS. Sometime, Tom, I'll return the net to you. You'll do a check-in round, see if there's anyone on frequency that has not had a chance to check in. And maybe you get Randy on there. And then after the check-in round, give my permissions into Canada for his WhatsApp segment. So the KE55 from JF5CDS.
All right, thank you, Billy, and I'll do exactly that. I do have the KE55JID in Louisville. He is now checked in. I'll take additional check-ins. If you'd like to join us this evening, I'm going to call sign name where you're transmitting from.
So Bravo 9, Mr. Kilo, John Fort Worth.
Slow, India 5, Juliet, Charlie, Mike, Thomas, Phoenix.
All right. Well, we pick more. I got KBNS, okay. That's Sean in Fort Worth. KI5JCM, Thomas in Lewis. Okay, Chaz, KI5JA, you're up. Tell us what's up.
Hey, Tom, thank you, Billy. Good evening, everyone. This is Chaz, KF5JHA. We call this segment of Skynet What's Up because it's all of what's going on astronomically over the next couple of slide master. That was slide number 1. Those of you that are watching the video version, we may have a slide show with us. Slide number 2, please. New moon was on April the 19th, a few days ago, so the current phase of the moon is a waxing crescent. On April the 27th, be the first quarter moon. On April the 20th, the moon is at apogee, which is the point in the moon, but that is 7th, and the moon is at perigee, which is a point in the moon's orbit that is closest to the Earth, distance of 309,343 kilometers. Slide master, slide number 3, please. Well, unfortunately, I'm not sure if any of you saw this, but tonight, in fact, it still might be out there. It probably hasn't quite set yet. April the 27th, the planet Venus and the moon are in conjunction. That means they're close together in the western east sky. I didn't look because there was mostly cloudy skies for me here in the east. Slide masters, slide number 4, please. On April the 23rd or 24th, it's a nice peak of the Pi bed meteor shower. We'll have a maximum up to 40 years per hour. For more information, meteors and meteor showers, you can visit the International Meteor Organization at imo.net or the American Meteor Society at ammeteors.org. Slide master, slide 5. On April the 25th, Mars and the Moon will be in conjunction in the western evening sky. Slide master, slide number 6. On April the 26th, just the following night, the asteroid Alice and the star Procyon will be in conjunction in the western sky. Now, you'll need a pair of binoculars or a telescope to see the asteroid Alice. Slide master, slide number 7. On May the 13th, the Moon and Saturn will be in conjunction in the east-southeastern morning sky. Master, slide number 8. On May the 5th, the Moon and Neptune will be in conjunction in the eastern morning sky. And then this is KF5JHA, and this is Skynet. Once again, the Astronomical Society of Dallas Club meeting will be held in 6 days from now, April 28th at 7 p.m. and come in person at the University of Texas, Dallas, and also held on Zoom. Lonnie Leachy will be the speaker, and his topic is the state of the telescope industry. And stargazing has begun again, but the press clouded it out tonight. It would have been at fall tonight. For more information about information on meetings and observing sessions, go to past website, texasastro.org. Now, slide master, slide number 10. Do any of you out there in the land have a question or maybe need a fill on any of the information I've given? Or maybe you're just a general astronomy question. Come now with your call sign if you have a question or need a fill. Well, hearing nothing. So, as the wane the last week, so of these words for this kind of Skynet: stay safe, keep well, pray for our world. It's the only one humans live, at least right now. And until next time, actually I'll be another segment on Skynet in a few minutes. Keep looking up so you know what's up. And this KF5JHA, our net control, Billy, KF5PDS.
Alright, next up is space basics and then space systems. So this time I will turn it over to Kelly, K5KTX, the net yours from KF5TDS.
Thank you, Billy. This K5KTX. Good evening, everyone. Well, NASA's Ingenuity Mars helicopter has completed 50 flights on Mars. First aircraft on the world reached the half-century mark on April 13th, traveling over 1,057.099 feet in 145.7 seconds. The helicopter also achieved a new altitude record of 50 feet before alighting near the half-mile Belva crater. With Flight 50 in the logbook, the helicopter team plans to perform another repositioning flight before exploring the Fall Rift Pass region of the Zero crater. Ingenuity landed on the red planet in February of 2021, attached to the belly of NASA's Mars Perseverance rover, and celebrated the two-year anniversary of its first flight, which took place on April 19, 2021, when it made history as the first powered control flight on another planet. As a technology demonstration that would fly no more than 5 times, the helicopter was intended to power controlled flight on the planet was possible. But Ingenuity exceeded expectations and transitioned into being an operations demonstration. Every time Ingenuity goes airborne, covers new ground and the perspective no previous planetary mission achieved. Imagery from the helicopter has not only demonstrated how aircraft could serve as forward scouts for future planetary expeditions, but it has even come in handy for the Perseverance team. By testing the helicopter's limits, engineers are gathering flight data that can be used by engineers working on design for possible future Mars helicopters. That includes the people designing the Mars Sample Return Campaign proposed sample recovery helicopters. Leading the relatively flat confines of Jezero Crater's floor on January 19th, Moody has flown alone 11 times, setting new speed and altitude records of 14.5 miles per hour and 59 feet along the way. Although the deep chill of wind regional dust vents, which can block the sun's rays from reaching the helicopter solar panel, have abated, ingenuity continues to brown out at night. As a result, the helicopter station on the road needs to search for rotorcraft signal each morning. The time Ingenuity is addicted to wake up. And when the helicopter does fly, it must navigate rugged, relatively uncharted terrain, landing in spots that can be surrounded by hazards. On facing more challenging terrain, Ingenuity will also fly at a greater frequency coming days, but the helicopter needs to remain within electronic earshot of the rover. With its auto-nav ability, Perseverance can travel hundreds of meters a day. Built many off-shelf components, such as smartphone processors and cameras, Ingenuity is now 23 Earth months and 45 flights beyond its expected lifetime. The rotorcraft has flown for over 89 minutes and more than 7.1 miles. In space history for this past week, beginning with April 16, 1972, Apollo 16 launched from Kennedy Space Center with John, Charlie, and Ken Mattingly as crew. The next Apollo mission to the moon, the objective was living in the rugged, discarded highlands. Among the instruments placed on the Apollo 16 was the first astronomical observatory placed on another celestial body. This far ultraviolet camera or spectrograph was developed by Dr. George Brothers of the Naval Research Laboratory. April the 17th, 1970, Apollo 13 returned to Earth after nearly avoiding a deadly disaster in space. This was supposed to be the third mission to land on the moon. Astronauts Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes launched on April 11th and were 2 days into their trip to the moon when an oxygen tank exploded and NASA had to abort the mission. They survived entry and safely splashed down the Pacific Ocean. On April 18th, 2014, NASA's Lunar Atmosphere and Dust Environment Explorer, also known as LADEE, ended its mission by crashing into the moon. LADEE spent 7 months orbiting the moon and studied exosphere. The exosphere is a thin layer of gas that's kind of like an sphere, but the molecules are more spread out and are certainly not breathable. LADEE conducted a lunar dust experiment, which it collected and analyzed the dust particles being around in the exosphere. This experiment was intended to help NASA solve the mystery behind the faint glow Apollo astronauts reported on the lunar horizon. LADEE discovered neon in the exosphere, but it wasn't enough to account for the glow, and the mystery remains unsolved. When LADEE ran out of fuel, NASA intentionally crashed it into the lunar surface. It was traveling 3,600 miles per hour during the crash and created a crater almost 10 feet wide. K5KTX. On April 19, 1971, the Soviet Union launched the world's first space station, Salyut. This space station is a modified version of the Soviet Union's Alma space station, which was part of a highly classified military program and was still under development at the time. After NASA managed to put astronauts on the moon, the Soviet Union decided that its next big feat in the space race would be to put a crewed space station in orbit. The first crew to visit Salyut in orbit launched just 4 days after the space station did. However, that crew had technical problems while the dock with the space station in their Soyuz U-10 spacecraft, so they went back home without ever actually in the station. Another crew launched 2 months later on Soyuz mission. And after successful docking, they spent 3 days aboard the Sims. However, during the Soyuz 11 cruise to Earth, a pressure valve on their spacecraft opened early during the descent. The crew members died during as a result. The run remained in orbit until October 11, 1971, when flight controllers commanded stations, engines higher, and intentionally acted into the Pacific Ocean. The world's first space station spent 125 days in orbit during its mission's lifetime. And astronaut birthdays that were celebrated this past week. April the 16th, have 2. April the 16th, 107, Space Shuttle Mission Columbia. April 16th, 1959, Michael Beck, who was at Expedition 1920, Shuttle Mission STS-133, and his scheduled pilot for the SpaceX Crew 8 in 24. And then one of our all-time favorite astronauts' birthday was April the 20th, 1955. He's been a guest on this net before. Pettit, he was part of Expedition 6, Space Shuttle missions STS-120-26, and also Expedition N-31. And that's all I've got this evening. Back to you, but this is K5K6.
Thank you very much. And as I recall for the Don Edison on Skynet, Miss Kelly, K5ETX, was our net control, and I was there. It was so fun to meet him and have him as a guest on Skynet. Our step is Miss Carol Constellation of the Week. But this time I will return that to Chaz, KF5JA. The net is yours, KF5DS.
Thank you so much. I just see Bill in 5E over on Echolink, so you might ask him after my segment if he has instruments. Miss Carolyn's Constellation of the Week, oh, this is slide number 12. Miss Carolyn's Constellation of the Week is named in honor of Helen T. Carolyn, KC5OZT. Carolyn contributed to Skynet each week, almost from its mistake in 2012 till May of 2019. A detailed look at one particular constellation each week. Such about 2 easily visible constellations seen in Texas throughout the year out of the 88 total number of constellations. So Miss Carolyn covered the entire sky scene over north here. And in her, we've continued that tradition of a constellation proof and named this segment after her. Miss Carolyn's constellations of the week this week are Sextant, and Hydra the Water Snake. Slide Master, slide number 13, and this is part of net that everyone just waits for. I know the jokes of the week. Okay, here we go. These are all snake related, not too many jokes about them. What do you call a snake 3.14 meters long? Now think about what 3.14. Oh, it's called a python. Get it? Okay, I have to explain them, then they're not as good. What do you call a snake who, for the government? A civil serpent. Oh, okay, Control, you should know what this one is. What are the best mathematicians amongst the snake family? I know you could type this in, Billy. Come on, I'm waiting. What are the best mathematicians amongst the snake family? They would be the adders. Yes. Very good. She did it. All right. What is this? A snake's favorite subject in school? History. What did this give his wife? A good night hiss. And the last one is segment. What do you call snakes? You use to clean. Oh, what snakes you use to clean your car windows? they use windshield vapors. Slide Master, slide number 14, please. Sextants is a constellation named for a sextant, an instrument used for stellar positions and often used in celestial navigation. Sextant is one of the modern-day constellations created by Johannes Helvetius, and is named to commemorate his loss of his own sextant, which was destroyed by fire at his observatory in September of 1679. Slide Masters, slide number 15. Alpha Centauri is the brightest star in Sextant, shining at only magnitude 4.49, which is just barely visible with the naked eye, in dark skies. It is the only star in Sextant brighter than fifth magnitude. It's white A-type giant star, approximately 285 years from the Earth. It lies less than a quarter of a degree south of the celestial equator. Beta Sextans is a blue-white B-type sequence dwarf. It's approximately 400 light years from the. It's slightly variable. It only changes by a tenth of a magnitude with a 15-day period. Slide Master, slide number 16. NGC 3115 is nicknamed the spindle guy. It is the best deep sky object in Sextant, and the only object that's discussed in detail in Burnham's Special Handbook. Robert Burnham Jr. wrote that NGC 3015 was originally thought to be an elliptical galaxy of type E7, but the Palomar 200-inch discovery of an equatorial surrounding the nucleus led it to be reclassified as an S0 galaxy, or an E7 S0 transition. It is generally classified as an S0 lenticular galaxy. Slide Master, slide number 17, please. Sextant's dwarf spheroid is a low-illuminated dwarf elliptical galaxy that is a satellite of the Milky Way, discovered fairly recently in 1990. It is the 8th dwarf galaxy of the Milky Way that's been found. It is about 290,000 light years from the galactic center. Slide Master, slide number 18. Sextans A, a dwarf irregular galaxy located 400 million light years away. It is a member of the local group. In photographs, it is an interesting square shape. It's only magnitude 11.9. And this is KF5J, and this is Skynet. Slide Master, slide number 19. We'll get to the constellation of Hydra. Hydra is the water snake. It's the largest constellation in the sky. It occupies an area of 1,303 square miles in the night sky. It lies in the sun celestial hemisphere, stretched across about 102 degrees. The constellation was flagged by Greek astronomer Ptolemy in the 2nd century. Hydra constellation is usually associated with second Hercules' labors in the Greek mythology. Hydra was a giant multi-headed creature. In mythology, Hydra had 9 heads, and one of them was immortal. The celestial Hydra is depicted with only one head, presumably immortal. Master, slide number 20. Alphard, which is Alpha Hydra, the brightest star in Hydra, is magnitude 1.96. The name Alphard is derived from the Arabic words meaning solitary one, which is appropriate because it's relatively isolated from bright stars. It's also known as Core Hydra, which means the dragon's heart. Must be located at the heart of the dragon. Epsilon Hydra. When observing Epsilon, you can see the turn-see. It can be barely split into 2. This is the double star. An 8-inch Dynamax. The companion star was. It's hard to see in a telescope, depending on seeing conditions. Another star in Hydra is easy double stars, and it's easy to split. It's like a distant pair of headlights, maybe a tiny bit dimmer than one is a tiny bit dimmer than the other one. Slide master, slide number 21. M3, the Thin Whale Galaxy discovered by South in 1752. Messier added it to his catalog in 1781. Current estimates place the galaxy at 50 million light years away. Though a face on spiral, it appears to have an oval shape instead of a circular one in a view of an telescope. Using averted vision means you're not looking directly at it, but off to the edge of it. You can see some modeling, just starting to see a hint of the structure at 84 power in an H telescope. Some larger instruments clearly show spiral arms. That looks there's a central bar, various knots and dark spots. James Amira says that this galaxy begs for a power with larger telescope. Slide master, slide number 22. M68 is a globular cluster discovered by Michan in 1980. Messier added his list shortly afterwards. M68 appears fewer than most Messier listed globular clusters. M68 is not like M13, which is an excellent globular cluster. In an 8-inch telescope, M68 starts to resolve. At first glance, you could only make a handful of individual stars. A vision helps with bringing more stars. The rest of the cluster looks nebulous in an 8-inch telescope. Slide master, slide number 23, please. M40 is an easy to find open cluster in binoculars or even up your scope. At low power, at an 8-inch telescope, you can see it all at once. While observing this cluster, you might automatically connect the dots and draw a triangle outline for the cluster. Many of the stars make interesting pairings or shapes. And this is KF5JJJ, is a Skynet. Slide master, slide number 24. Now, there's a few more Astronomy League observing program objects in the constellations of the Sextant, and Hydra, the water snake. I've just given you a few samplings of some of those objects. Astronomy League has, at last count, 75 different observing programs. Most have about 100 objects. If you observe just 10 different objects in an observing program each month, then you can earn an observer certificate and a pin in about a year from the Astronomical League. Slide master, slide number 25, and that is Miss Constellations of the Week. The Sextant and Hydra water snake. I want to thank my friends Dickinson and Dennis Harwell for their research and work on deep sky objects that I use, borrow, and steal for every sky. I also at times use the website constellation-guide.com information. Now next time we'll take a look at Centaurus, the star. You know, some sort of half human, half something else. And this is KF5JJJ. Sending it back.
Thank you very much, Kaz. There's so much to look at our night sky. So take the constellation. Next up, we'll go to Bill 5D to get NASA Space Society events and activities update. So time. I'll turn the net over to you, NWB from KFITM.
Thank you, Billy. This is the report continues to be okay. Go check. Over.
Clear. I can hear you fine. Please go ahead.
Billy, I'm on echoing. not in front. The local council meeting. I'll be tomorrow occurring. Is in Fair Park. That's right. Al will be 2 a.m. Earth X 2023. Yes. Parking in there. The light rail. So they're on the green line. Also park there. The park to get some shuttle living lots of these. Building and automobile. Eye-catching thing.
I just want to say they're coming over the chat. You're sounding fine on Echo Link, but I'm having a hard time hearing you on the repeat.
Can repeat things. I can't. Event coming up is the International Space Development Conference 2023. Thursday, Saturday day. At this is a huge big space event for the world. ID at 5. RF.
Okay, well, folks, if you'll go to National Space Society of North Texas, And if you have any inquiries, please feel free to send a message to nets@w5c.org. If you have any questions regarding National Space Society, we can relay them, Bill, and get you some answers and get you some bills on those. All right, next, let's see. Launches of the week. This time I'll turn it over to Tom, KE55ICX. He'll do a quick check-in round, see if anybody has joined us for this evening's net and get them checked in, and then he can roll right into segments for spaces for this. This is to E5ICX from KF55EDF.
And this is KE5ICX. I'll take additional check-ins. Please come and find your name, where you're transmitting from.
Whiskey 5, taking Tomato, W5, BLT, Garland.
Kilo India 5, Uniform, Juliet, Dustin, Alice.
Okay, we picked up two more. I got W5BO Bill over in Garland, I5UUJ, Dustin in Dallas. You all checked in. All right, well, nobody talked about start, but about 90 seconds after lift off, a little after 90 seconds after lift off, a couple of days ago, the thing blew up. It was very spectacular. Super heavy, well, not even super heavy, the next start meant for interplanetary travel and heavy to Earth orbit and beyond. Demonstrated at least that it could get up to 12 miles into the and then separate from its first stage booster and disintegrated, unfortunately. But it managed to fly, which means it is now the most powerful rocket ever to be launched. Twice the actual capabilities of Saturn V. Just to mention that the next launch, once they repair the launch pad, which does need some work from such an incredible rocket, last. Okay, this is what we got for tonight. I've got the launch coming up of Falcon 9, Starlink 7-9, that's OP40 at Cape Canaveral. This will be another batch of Starlink the 1.5 internet satellite. On April 25th, Starlink 3-5, one from Vandenberg. This will be another batch of 1.5 satellites. This time it'll be the West Coast inclination orbit. On April 26th, the Falcon 3 will launch ViaSat-3 in America. This is a band communications satellite, SAT-3, America's first of the 3 generation built geostationary satellites for ViaSat. It is yet to be determined, but there is a N6880 using a Delta IV Heavy. This is from SLC-30B from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The United States Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket will launch classified satellite cargo for the U.S. Reconnaissance Office. Then on April 28th, there will be a 9 launches again. This is O3BB, M4, 3, and 4. This will be a second pair of O3 and 3D and our broadband internet satellite flight medium Earth orbit for SDA Luxembourg. To be determined yet, Starlink 6-3, this will be from SLC-40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Base. This is another batch of second generation satellite. Then we have satellite Starlink 2-9. This will launch from for high inclination orbit from SO4E at Vandenberg Space Force Base. Finally, here's something different. May 4th, Vulcan Centaur Peregrine will launch on its inaugural flight with a Peregrine lunar lander Astronomy. The right lander will carry multiple instruments, scientific experiments, and tech demo payload NASA and other customers. The mission will also launch 2 prototype satellites for Amazon's Kuiper broadband constellation. And let me skip it down to the last one here. There's 6 that launch. This is Chinese Long March 7 rocket launch with the Tenzhou 6 resupply ship to dock at the Chinese space station, automated cargo craft, the 5th resupply freighter to the Chinese space station. And that's it for me. Back to net control, KE5I6.
Tom, and I just wanted to relay some information that Bill put in the chat. Instead of sending anything to Net, please email him for National Society of BB at ARL.net or at space@FIRA.net. Also says that the EarthX count ends on Tuesday. Bill said. Next up is recent astronomical discoveries. So this time I'll turn that over to Brenda, W5OZL. The net is yours. K5TDS.
This is W5OZL. This article is entitled Get Water. Our planet's water could have originated from interactions between nitrogen-rich atmospheres and magma oceans of the planetary embryos that comprised Earth's formative years, according to new work from Carter Sciences' Anna Schauer and UCLA's Ed Young and Hildy Schichting. Their findings, which could explain the origins of Earth's signature features, are published in Nature. For decades, what resources knew about planet formation was based primarily on our own system. There are some active debates about the formation of gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn. It is widely agreed upon that Earth and other rocky planets accreted from the disk of dust and gases surrounding our sun in its youth. As increasingly larger objects crashed into each other, baby planetesimals eventually formed. Earth grew both larger and hotter, melting into a vast magma ocean due to the heat of collisions and radioactive elements. Over time, as the planet cooled, the densest materials sank inward, separating Earth into three layers: the metallic core, the rocky silicate mantle, and crust. However, the explosion of excellent research over the past decade informed a new approach to modeling the Earth's embryonic state. Exoplanet discoveries have given us greater appreciation of how common it is for just-formed planets surrounded by atmospheres that are rich in molecular hydrogen, H2. Your first several million years of growth are explained. Eventually, these hydrogen envelopes dissipate, but they leave their fingerprints on the young planet's position. Use this information, and the researchers developed new models for Earth's formation and evolution
to see if our home planet's distinct chemical trails could be replicated. Using the developed model, Carnegie and UCLA researchers were able to demonstrate that early in Earth existence, interactions between the magma ocean and the molecular hydrogen proto-atmosphere could have given rise to some of Earth's signature features, such as its abundance of water and its overall oxidized state. The researchers used mathematical modeling to explore the exchange of materials between molecular hydrogen atmospheres and magma oceans, looking at 25 compounds and 18 different types of reactions. Complex enough to yield valuable data about Earth's possible formative history, but simple enough to interpret fully. Interactions between the magma ocean and the atmosphere and their simulated baby Earth resulted in the movement of large masses of hydrogen into the metallic core, the oxidation of mantle, and the production of large quantities of water. Even all the rocky material that collided to form the growing planet was completely dry. These interactions between the molecular hydrogen atmosphere and the magma ocean would generate copious amounts of water, the researchers revealed. Other water sources are possible, they say, but not necessary to explain Earth's current state. This is just one possible explanation of our planet's evolution, but one that would establish an important link between Earth's formative formation history and its common exoplanets that have been discovering orbiting distant stars, which are called super Earth and sub-Neptune star, concluded. This was part of the interdisciplinary multi-institute project initiated and led by Shahar, which seemed to reveal the chemical makeup of the Milky Way's galaxy most common planets, super Earth and sub-Neptune. Develop a framework for detecting signatures of life on distant worlds. Funded by the L.T. Sloan Foundation, this effort was developed to understand how the formation and evolution of the planets shaped atmospheres. This in turn enabled scientists to differentiate true biosignatures, which could only be produced by the present life from spheric molecules of biological origin. Increasingly powerful telescopes are enabling to understand the compositions of exoplanet atmospheres in never-before-seen detail, Shar said. Researchers' work will inform their observations with experimental modeling data that we hope will lead foolproof method for detecting signs of life on other worlds. That is it. This is from ScienceDaily.com. Back to net, to B50ZL.
We've just got a couple minutes left. I'll give a brief information for visible satellite passages over the next couple of days. The website where you can go to look us up is www.heaven-com.
and all my networks functioning perfectly.
Afterglow movie to find what's in orbit and where to look for flyovers. Again, that's www.heaven-above.com, and you can put in your location and get the date times and look and see what's in orbit and where it's for flyovers. All right, at this time, I'll turn it over to Tom, KE5ICX, to give us the final check-in round and a final count for this evening's net. I'd appreciate it. ICX from K5CDS.
In this KE55IC last call, I'll take final check-ins. Please come to your call sign phonetically, your name, where you're transmitting from. Hearing none. Miss Billy, we have 2020 checks this evening from KE5IC here.
Thank you, Tom. I caught that tonight we had 28 hands participating on air. So thank you for checked in this evening. We hope you'll join us here next week and every Saturday night at 9 p.m. to discuss astronomy, space, and space exploration. On this net, Sky is never the limit. We're always looking at control stations and all the other DAR nets. If you have to try your hand at this, contact any of the controls by sending mail to net@w5fc.org. You can follow topics and discussion about this net and astronomy in general on Facebook, and as well as our audio streams, video archives, and other useful net resources by going to w5c.org at the conclusion of net. So until next Saturday night, this is KF5PDF. Yes, Billy. I'll be closing the net at 22:31 local time and returning your repeater to normal amateur use. Everybody, and enjoy the discovery universe. And remember, in about 5 minutes, come back for the after net. We'll be discussing 1985. 733, everybody.
And this is Q5ICCX. Just so you know, we will start a net here in about 5 minutes, and then bring in 5. Yeah, you're there. Would you like to control for this thing? Please now.
Okay, ICX is MV5F. I am happy to MC the short pitch edition of After. So let me know if you can hear me in MV5F.
Yes, I think it'll do. The repeater is a little noisy tonight. At least it's me and lots of local me here in the house. But you're readable and it should be fun. You know all the rules, so I'll let you do it. I may just go one round and drop out, but we'll see. I can't. I see if I can get a second win. I'm really tired tonight. But by all I think you'll be able to match control on this. You're going to 85 right there.
Okay, I increased my prayer. That might help up a little bit. And I hope you can stick around because I'm also fighting some fatigue, so I need as much energy as I can to keep this fun rolling till night in V5F.
Your signal is much better, so yep, no problem. And I messed up your call. I'm sorry. Okay, well, go ahead. I'm putting the timer. We'll come back in about 5 minutes and go ahead and get started.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to join Ask Low, but number 5 is alive! This is KF55HA.
Hey, Chaz, you're excused for this time, and when we do short circuit 2, you better be here for V5F.
I can't say Virginia, I have to say Stephanie!
Notice a symbol in V5F. Okay, everybody, the timer says that it's time for the Hello Movie Net. My name is Bria. My call sign is in 5F, and Tom has allowed me to be master of ceremony for this evening. Is the movie we are going to talk about. It is my favorite movie of all time. So I do know the rules. First, I'm going to do a little protocol. If at any time anyone has an emergency during this net and use the use of this repeater, please call break. We will turn the machine to you. You don't have to know much about this movie or any movie. If you just want to listen along and let us know you're there, please can. If you would like to talk about the movie, even if you haven't seen it, we're happy to give you a turn. The rules are that we'll listen, check in, and we will do a synopsis of the movie, and then each person who watched the film can, or even have it, you can comment first. We'll talk about the plot, and then the second round talk about the characterization and casting and acting. In the third round, we talk about special effects or music or fun facts, anything you might want to add. So, without further ado, let's check-ins for Aflo this week. And please tell us your call sign, your name, your location, and whether or not you have seen this wonderful, classic 1980s sci-fi action comedy venture. Please come now.
Tom was walking a little funny earlier. Yeah.
Echo 5, India Charlie, Tom Woodall, yes, I saw it.
Whiskey 5, making motor WBT. Well, yes, all the move.
November Tango 5, Tango Mike. Tony and Dallas. Yes, we saw the movie, Aaron and I.
With Bravo 5, Oscar Zulu Lima, Brenda Soto, yes, I saw this movie.
Kilo India 5, Kilo Whiskey Golf Cruise in Arlington. Yes, I saw the film. Golf 5, Bravo Zulu. Okay, however, guess about the movie.
Okay, we got a group. The usual suspects have eyes. So we have KI Fox, JCM, Thomas with traffic. He'll just be listening. Tom, if you would like to come in any reasons, and just let us know. KE5, ICX, Tom, Dual Net Control. He's here and has seen the movie. W5BP, Bill, yes, he saw the movie. N5TM, yes, he and Aaron saw the movie. W5OZL, Brenda saw the movie. KI5, KWG, Cruise, yes, saw the movie. And K2G5BWJ also saw the movie. Are there any check-ins before we get going? All right, nothing heard. Well, again, this is Virginia. 5F. And this is my first afterglow control opportunity, and I will say that I asked Tom if he ever got to do this movie, I wanted to run this net because some people know that Circuit is my favorite movie of all time. Earlier this evening, Tom gave us his wonderful synopsis of the film. I will follow that with a reading of the more accepted plot of Short Circuit. Is more mainstream interpretation, so I'll read the plot as quickly as I can. Nova Laboratory robotics experts Newton Crosby and Jabatuya developed several prototype robots, strategic artificially intelligent nuclear transport for the U.S. military to use in polar operations, though they would rather peaceful application robots. After a live demonstration for the military, one of the units, Saint number 5, is struck by lightning, arcing through the lab's power grid. This scrambles programming and makes its ascension, resulting in its escape from the Nova facility. The robot puts itself in Astoria, Oregon, and is by Stephanie Speck, an animal caregiver who mistakes him for an alien. She takes the robot into her home, where she provides him with input in the form of visual and verbal stimuli, allowing the robot to improve its language skills. She continues to help the curious number 5 robot learn about the world. She eventually discovers that number 5 was by Nova, contacts them about the lost robot. Nova CEO Dr. Howard Marner orders Crosby and Ben to recover him so they can disassemble and build him. Waiting for Nova to arrive, number 5 learns about death, and when he accidentally crushes a grasshopper and concludes that if Nova disassembles him will die and escapes, is Stephanie's sutra. However, Nova uses a tracking device on number 5 to corner him and deactivate the robot for return to the facility. During transport, number 5 reactivates himself, removes the tracking device, and flees back to Stephanie. Because of these unusual actions, Crosby tries to convince Howard that something has changed with number 5's programming, and that they should take care not to damage it in their recovery efforts, so they can examine them later. However, instead, since their security chief, Captain Schroeder, and three other prototypes capture number 5 by force, ignoring Crosby's concerns. Number 5 outwits the other robots and reprograms their personalities to act like stooges, allowing him to escape. Number 5 kidnaps Crosby, takes him to Stephanie, and convinces Crosby of his sentience. They find that Scooter has called in the United States Army to capture number 5, and on orders restrain Crosby and Stephanie so he can open fire. To protect his friends, number 5 leads the army away and is to be destroyed by copter missiles. Stephanie is devastated as Schroeder's men scrounge the remains of number 5 as trophies, prompting Crosby to resign from Nova and drive away with Stephanie in the Nova van. Howard is dismayed over the loss of his research and dismisses Schroeder's insubordination. Crosby and Stephanie are surprised to discover that number 5 had hidden under the van, assembled a decoy of himself from spare parts and misleads the military. Crosby suggests taking number 5 to a ranch in Montana, where there will be much input for the robot, and Stephanie agrees to come with them. As they drive off, number 5 asserts the name should now Johnny 5, based on the Eldebarge song Johnny, which has been playing on the car's radio. So there you go. There's the shortest version of the Short Circuit you could probably possibly have. So now let's get started. Let's hear from some of our viewers this week, and we'll start with Tom, KE5ICX. What did you think of the plot of Short Circuit?
Well, Virginia, thank you for doing net control this evening, and it's always nice. I'm doing net control. I like other people do net once in a while, and I'm glad that you like this film and decided to pick up and run with it this week. I thought the film was interesting. It's a little different from my tea as far as science fiction is concerned. I like comedy in science fiction. It always is kind of strange thing for me. However, with being said, I still very much they made I guess falls into characterization with number 5, Johnny 5, as a character was fantastic. But we'll wait on that. The idea premise was pretty good. I thought the idea of having an autonomous and then self-aware robot, a common theme in stories we hear. And this one was for a change character that wasn't menacing or going to wipe us out or anything like, which I think is what led to the charm of the film, to the story again. So that helps a lot. The one fellow, well, oh God, this whole conversation was very character-driven, actually, when you got it. So I'm going to have a full plot. Story moved along pretty well, I thought. The way that Johnny interacted with characters and realizing he was aware, I think, was cool, and people weren't believing it, but along the way they did. So that helped, I think, to the story a bit. See what else I can say about it. So I noticed, in a way, there's a heavy influence here, I think, with kind of this E.T. Notice similarity in how the story played out. Sympathetic character, out of fish out of water. So that kind of played into it. But I think Johnny 5 was a more engaging and successful than even E.T. Although we all cry by faith there in E.T. Near death and resurrection. So, in any case, I saw a lot of that in the overall style of the film. Let's see. Hang on a second. Trying to read through here. I'll tell you what. I'll come back. I really kind of intrigued by the characterization in films, so I'll come back to that one. I think it's better listening to talk about that there. I'll come back later. That's it from me from E5 Ice here.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Thanks for getting us link. And I'm guessing several of the other viewers will have some more to add to that. So let's just get on to our contestant, Bill, B5, BLT. What did you think of the plot of Short Circuit?
Hi, good evening, Virginia. I appreciate you taking on the role of net control. And good to be back with you all. I've watched movies, but haven't been able to stay awake. And then I had some trouble getting some of them. But I got a link and watched the movie. I liked it. It was kind of refreshing, and it kind of took me back a little bit to the 80s, which the teenager crawled in. That was kind of cool. I got a lot of things I want to say. A couple things, but yeah, I agree with Tom. I'll keep it to the plot here. We've kind of seen the plot before. It's similar, although I thought they did it in a really good way. And it's interesting because you have the kind of a little bit bumbling military, and of course the robot being self-aware and control to change. The people at her and the plot. Actually, I wonder if in the Transformers movie, Bumblebee didn't take some ideas from plot, because as I was watching it, I kept thinking of that movie, and you guys have seen the Transformers with Bumblebee, and that same sort of scenario. Girl discovers the Transformer, and Transformers running people that tried to destroy it. And anyway, it just kind of struck me as I was watching it. I remember this movie, but I don't really remember sitting down and watching it until now. So I'm glad I did. Back to net control, W5BLT.
Okay, W5BLT in 5F. And you brought up some really cool things. I may touch on these when I take my turn, but I will say I love the Bumblebee movie probably because I love the Short Circuit so much. And that movie took place in 1987, and it had a lot of great references to the 80s. I think the one reference that it didn't have that it should have had was a reference to Circuit. So yeah, totally get that. I think you're onto something there. So thanks so much for some good calls there. All right, let's move on to Tony, NT5. Tony, what did you guys think Short Circuit?
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you everyone for your comments. I don't have too much to say about the plot. It's very obviously meant to be a very kids-friendly movie. Very character-driven. I think the plot got kind of laggy. The traditional ticking clock actually was harder to do in this movie because they were still having to do some more character development. So it's a little dry there, kind of 2/3 of the way in. But I have more of friends in my comment when we get to characters. Although I guess I would say that one of the most distinctive things about the movie to me was the way that they did a good job of distracting me from the plot with a very consistent supply of liners. I hadn't seen this movie in many years, but Aaron and I still occasionally quoted to each other, disassemble, little zingers, you know what many people are liking at night? Headlights. Just the little things. So they definitely just get me from the imperfections of the plot with lots and lots of smiles from the dial. And I'll have more to say with characters and cool items. And NT5TM.
Okay, thank you, Tony. And all I do is I stand here beside myself. The one-liners were a tradition for me and cousins, and constantly quote this movie, and then it started to turn into like a family thing, and now my whole family quotes the movies. So yeah, some of these movies had some great one-liners. I think this movie, it's about 99 minutes long, including the credits, and I think it's a briskly paced movie. It does kind of slow down a little bit in the latter third, where Stephanie and Newton kind of get together and start talking about lives, and then there's a few convenient moments where they need to kidnap Newton Crosby. He just goes and gets them, and there's no resistance there. Just some of it just works out really easily to kind of keep it moving. And yeah, those are good observations. I appreciate those, and I'm looking forward to what y'all are all going to say about the characters. Okay, this is Virginia, NV5F, your internet control, the Afterglow Movie Net, and we're going to finish the first round on hot, and then we'll take for check-ins if anybody there wants to get in on Circuit this evening. So next we'll go to Brenda, WBUB OZL. Brenda, what did you think of the plot?
This is WB5OZL. I like a lot. I saw the first run in the theater. Loved it, and I haven't seen it since, so it's almost like new movie to me. Although I did know what. I wasn't a total surprise. But still, I've forgotten enough of it that it was fresh. Well, it was fairly simple, predictable, but that's okay. I thought the writing was pretty good, so that carried along. And it was engaging. It was fun. And it was just a great story, a real feel story. I like that. So, Jeanette, WB5OZL.
Oh, okay, thank you, Brenda. I think that's my favorite movie. It just immediately made me feel good. You know, there's a sad moment at the end, and you think number 5 is gone for good. And I mean, I was a kid. I saw this, and they had me fooled. And then, of course, you know, by the end, you're just like laughing and crying at the same time, and kind of jealous because you kind of got to see it for the first time in a time, and I would love to go back and see it for the first time again. So, but I've seen it times that's not happen. All right, thank you, Brenda. All right, let's check in with Cruz. KI5 KKW. What did you think of this fine film plot short circuit?
Kilo and 5 kilo whiskey. Thank you. You did. This was a nice break. I thought comedy's not normally my thing for size. Tom was saying, kind of not my head as he said, but it was pleasant. It's kind of a light comedy on a I thought could have really serious subject, and you know, very for today with the artificial intelligence. They addressed that a little bit, and not much, but you know, what are the Marxists and you know, self-awareness, or what was the answer Steve Bird character came up with is spontaneous emotional response, I think. I thought that was kind of fun, and the way that Ally Sheedy reacted to it, they kind of started together, I think. Probably had the most fun and the most scenes together, too. I thought they used the scenes very well to tell the story, and the special effects, there'll be quite a bit of discussion on that, which would be good for it this time. So I enjoyed it. It was a light movie, not real, but I remember it somewhat sentimentally, thinking of Blockbuster Video. I think my girlfriend had time picked it out and watching it, and it was fresh sort of film back in 1980. I don't recall things out there being much like it. So that's what I've got for this part of KI5 KWG Connect.
Okay, thank you, Cruz. And after the word fresh, it had some kind of tropes to it, but I think came at them in a different way. Tom had mentioned E.T., and I noticed that when I saw it first. You know, that was a few years after E.T., and of course I loved that, and it had a very similar, just basic plot structure to E.T., and it had a little bit of war game, you know, some of those technology questions, you know, about the Cold War and all that, and John Badham, who directed Short Circuit, did war game. It has a little bit of that vibe, but it's a much light approach to that, what could be very heavy topic, and I think they did do a good job of taking some things that were pretty predictable and making them fresh and fun and kind of sparkly and heartwarming. So thank you for your comments. All right, let's do with Jay, KG55 BZW from NV55. What did you think of the plot of Short Circuit?
KQ BZW.
I don't know if there's anything really yet. I mean, there's clearly it's a kid movie, but it's just for kids. I mean, it's a family movie, I guess I should say. That's really best way to put it. But I liked it when I first saw it. It was one of my favorites. there is something about, we've got ET, we've got this movie, we've got Flight Navigator. Watch that. I know y'all covered it, not completely, but some of it. But anyway, there's a lot of seen among all of them. Let's see. Oh, there's actually think of them getting those, but it's not really. Just apply them, parts of iPhone. Anyway, I'm gonna kind of get inside track by. This triggers a lot of other movies too. I don't know. I would say if it's a perfect movie, I hate to disagree with you. I mean, they're subjective anyway. Anyway, it's enjoyable. There's, I don't know. One of the things you have to, not seriously, to enjoy it, but I remember that, I as a kid, I don't know that I take it any other day I took it, and I loved it back then. There's some things that just kind of with me, but they're also with me too, so I don't know what to say. It's, enjoyable film. I'm just gonna leave it at that. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, especially good, some very practical effects, but if it weren't for the story, we wouldn't even want to discuss stuff that is good. The story is quite good. I'll just leave it at that. Casey, for being.
Okay, thank you, Jay, and I agree. It's got it's got a good memory for a lot of us, definitely for me. And I think things about it that made it such a big, popular movie in its day. It was the most popular movie of the year, but it was a pretty popular video collect. It was one of the number of video rentals in 1987. But it, it's something that was really easy. It was fun, it was too hard to follow, and number 5 is likable, and Stephanie's likable, and even little Bird pretty likable, and it's got the, and we'll get into the cast. I won't talk about that yet. But you mentioned Flight of the Navigator, and that came out the same year, and it was also, it had a similar vibe to it, and actually the puppeteers who did number 5 for Short Circuit also did the puppet in Flight of the Navigator. So the guy who did for number 5 was voicing the little critter, the little monster critter that the kid had in Flight of the Navigator. So it's kind of a neat fact. Okay, before we go into the plot, do we have any more for check-ins to the Afterglow movie this evening? This is NG5F. Please come now. Okay, there's for additional skins, so I'll try to zoom in on this and not go too long. I think the plot of Short Circuit is fun. It's just going to repeat a lot of other people who said it's fun, it's light, it's charming, easy, it's easygoing, it makes you feel good. Unpredictable, but it does have a fresh approach. I think the idea of kind of replacing the obvious, like, troubled kid character, a character like Stephanie, still having that same theme where she likes animals, and she sort of takes in this robot. She thinks she's an alien. I always say she's seen E.T. one too many times, and you know, she's got that little, you know, kind of whimsical quality where she says, "Oh, I knew they'd pick me. I knew it." You know, and she's a little bit out there, and you know, she's kind of a soft-hearted person, and her truck, she shoots off a bridge, she lands on her truck, and you know, it's just funny takes on some common themes here, and they definitely address, like, well, what would it be like if a robot came to life? And I think you know, they everybody kind of wish it would happen, you know, and be scary or menacing. You know, I think the setting of the movie is great. I love the Northwest, and I like the variety of characters Tom could characters in, and I think it is. And I thought that's what makes a story interesting, is that it's just got interesting characters. So I won't say a whole lot else. I guess there were a lot of movies like that out at that time. There was Flight of the Navigator. There had been E.T. The next summer. Harry and Anderson came out. That was kind of a similar kind of story, but it was the fish out of water, the Sasquatch, you know. So there were a lot of these kind of cute movies with the level character that you would just want to live with you. You know, I'd live number to like be my best friend. So anyway, let's go back around the horn and talk to Buddy about the characters. So let's start with Tom, K5ICX. This is characterization, you think?
All right, thank you, Virginia. Obviously, I think Blaney, who plays number 5, did the voice, and I think your buddies with him. He did an excellent job. Really made that work really well. And then who I puppeteers for did an excellent job. Really first class in making Johnny 5 seem realistic and live. Of course, the construction of the robot was also excellent. Even today, I mean, it holds up extremely well. We have robots now that actually do work. They're not puppets. They're the real deal. And this seems to fall fairly close in line with what came later on, 30 years later. So I was impressed by that, and in and of itself, and very liked. In fact, having a sequel, so that worked really well. Ali Sheedy as Stephanie, she was quite interesting and fanatical over numbers. That kind of helped. She was also in, I think, War Games, too. She did a nice job in that. This was part of the Brat Pack, I think. But I think she did an admirable job. I said, I say that I've never seen them until last night. So it was first impression type of thing for me. And the first time I discussed it tonight, of course. So I thought she did well. Steve Guttenberg, well, he plays Steve Guttenberg and everything he's done. This is probably the best Steve Guttenberg we've seen in quite a while. His crazy out his characters basically the same as the goofy guy with compulsive, and so he's got a little bit of a how would you call it, awareness of what he's doing, rather than being the victim of everything happening around him. So he plays it with a little bit of a slyness that I've never seen him do before, and he is in. So I thought that was good. Although I guess the Police Academy film had a little bit in it, but even then, most of the time he's not acting in a deliberate manner. Let's see, who else do we have going down the list here in Wikipedia of people? Trying to think. I think it was General Washington. It was this minor character, the one that was running security. I can't think of his name right now. He got. Oh, maybe here it is. Captain character played by G.W. Bailey. This guy's been around. He's played this character before, military type. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. He's the guy that ended up everything went to him, right? And his wacky, crazy security people and their tanks around the security perimeter. I guess if you're a semi-paramilitary organization, you should be nice, but who knows? Ben, played by Fisher Stevens, surprisingly, he did a pretty good job. I read ahead of time that he played in which I guess even at that point was fairly controversial. Became controversial later on. He said he would never prize that role simply because it was so embarrassing to him to do that. When today we have a number of we have diversionally cast of sorts, but in so many ways, whereas in the past always white guys, gals, mostly white guys, ending up in these exotic roles or in these other ethnic roles. And I thought for all, considering he had to deal with how he had to do it, he did a fairly good job. It's fairly amazing, although I can think of others that could probably take that role on and could be better cast and do a really good job. But I mean, that's looking hindsight. So overall, interaction was good. Like the way the actors actually were able to interact with number 5 and so in a convincing way. I think that worked out really well. So I think all those things matter, and I'm trying to think some of the other things in there. But I think it was basically it. Overall, ensemble acting, I think it's really well. Characterizations held up and helped to tell the film forward. This is a science fiction film. It's really it is all character driven. There's very little in the way of special effects that really glamorize and link a science fiction film. There wasn't all of that except Johnny himself. So overall, I enjoyed that. I thought I could see them making people. I've not seen the people, but if it's some of the same people or the same sensibility, I can see it moving just fine. I guess that's from me, KE5I.
Okay, thank you, Tom. I appreciate your very thorough covering all the characters and the thing about Fisher playing Ben, and it's become kind of a thing, just in the last couple of years. And I'm going to talk about that later. I'm sure some other people will have some comments about that. But to his defense, he was actually hired, a white guy, and then they changed the ethnicity of the character, and they wanted to keep on, and he actually did research that role very, very thoroughly for this film. He was very, very respectful in playing that role. So, okay, next we'll go on to Bill, W5LT. What do you think of the pictures in Short Circuit?
I liked them. And now I know why some of these characters reminded me of people I've seen before, because of the war games and of course the bubble kind of those characters. I'm gonna kind of go off and put the human characters, but I think the robot characters that we're serving were probably my favorites. One, I read an article today about robot serving, and of course what movie, which interesting because restaurants are higher or they use and this is probably more third round, I guess, but I'm going to put it in here because the voices were of the old deck talk synthesizers that a lot of us who were visually impaired would use those on the Swell Reader Reading Edge machine. in our computers, and synthesized very robotic, like the Echo and kind of sounding boards or speak out those synthesizers. But yet this synthesizer was one that was the most human-like at the time, and the most so it was interesting to hear those voice at the beginning of the movie. It just kind of took me back to my first day of playing on the computer, and that was kind of cool. So for that, I liked those characters. Anyway, WVLT, back to you for Virginia.
WVLT V5S, thank you, Bill, and that's kind of a cool take on it. Because you definitely have a different perspective on synthesized voice technology, and being that I'm sure hearing is very I'm visually impaired, and I actually have pretty subtle ear for things like that too, and that's a cool way to come at it. Just thinking about the little robots that were going around and serving food, or ones that were not struck by lightning, like number 5, and that did actually use those already existing synthesizers for the, which is kind of cool. So that's some interesting facts there. Thank you. Next we'll go to Tony in 5PM. Did you guys think about the characterization in Short Circuit?
Well, thank you. Yeah, I guess to go in kind of ascending, where we can say nicer thing. Steve Guttenberg, to me, he's always like the cheap cut rate version of Tom Hanks. He always plays Steve Guttenberg. Tom Hanks always plays Hanks. Somehow Tom Hanks is more interesting and engaging when he plays Tom Hanks than Steve Guttenberg is with Steve Guttenberg. Just never like. I did catch on that the guy was not really Indian. We enjoyed his character, in the modern era that seems kind of strange, but he did have a job and did amusingly seem better at being an American than Steve Guttenberg's character was, which was a nice source of character kind of point there. Of course, Ali Sheedy was perfectly okay. Aaron remembers her from the Breakfast Club, which I've seen, but I can just, it sticks in my memory for some reason. Not that she did a bad job, just that, it's interesting that Aaron remember and I don't. Of course, the star characterization was number 5, and the puppeteering there just absolutely awesome. Aaron and I both have the thing where good effects always outlast computer software. There were, I'm getting a little ahead here, but I think we'll stay away from reference. There were a few occasional little weaknesses with some screening in this movie, but by and large, the puppeteering has held up well and still looks good. And if they had done that with early CGI, it would have looked absolutely stupid and ridiculous to a modern audience instead of looking good, like it still does. When you are dependent on effects for your character, you have to have good effects, and they did. And that puppeteering, Aaron loved the butterfly eyebrows. It was just so gosh darn effective. So characters definitely made them be more fun, as they in any movie. If you can have the best plot in the world, and if we care about the people, that's boring, because we're all people, not computers. Stories about other people. But Aaron really wanted me to mention that puppeteering as just being wonderful character built, and I totally agree with her on that. NTD-5.
All right, thank you, Tony. I think that the characters here were, like you said, they're likable. If you like them and you hear about what they want, then it'll make you want to see what happens. And I think Ali Sheedy, for me, this was like it's my favorite movie, so of course it's going to be my favorite thing that she ever did. I think it was probably most apropos to her personality. I think it suited her range really well. And I wish she had gone on to do more movies like this. After the movie, she kind of tried to take more, serious roles, quote, just more artsy things. And I think it would have been more fun to watch her career. She had kept doing more of these kind of movies. Steve Guttenberg he's a goober. Sometimes I just call him Steve Goober. And G.W. Bailey, who plays Oscar, I think Tom mentioned him. He was in a lot of similar roles. And he and Steve Guttenberg were both in the Police Academy. But I appreciate that you guys appreciate the puppetry because that was done by Tony Urbano Productions. Timmy was a puppeteer for him. He worked for Tony all his career. Tony actually the guy responsible for those wonderful butterfly eyelids he was really good at the radio controls, and talking to Tim about it today, and marvels at how Tony was with the Tony did all this with the eyes. But it's really neat when you can take 5 or 6 guys laying on the floor under a robot puppet, and they can all become characters. It's pretty incredible, and they did very subtle, beautiful behavioral performances with number 5 in this. So I'm glad you guys got in and appreciated it. So let's see, Brenda. What does Brenda have to say? C5 OZL. What do you think of the character Short Circuit?
Says 75 OZL. Well, a lot of interest characters in this. She is just cute as a puppy, and she plays this role and some other things. But it's just very, very sound character. I don't have any feelings about Sue. Steve Guttenberg. He's just furniture. He's just there. Fishersons, I'm looking him up. He's a whitish guy from Chicago. I honestly didn't realize he was an Indian. But Wikipedia says as an actor, he's been known for that character, and which is kind of something I'd hate to be an actor and that to be the pinnacle. However, he won an Academy Award for a documentary. He was directing and making movies. Very talented, obviously. A lot of the big guys were stereotypes. It's like they can't. It's like let's just. It's typical of the way the military is portrayed in sci-fi movies. They're called in to blow up the aliens. They can't really think beyond that. It's like alien bad, blow him up. And very often they become the enemy. And they're very one-dimensional. Who else? I can't remember any other characters specifically right now, except Johnny Five. He was amazing, and then the characterization of him was so much fun. You ask yourself, if you had a robot and it became sentient, what personality would you want it to have? I think a lot of our movies reflect that, like Data. His personality is really good, unless he's just going crazy sometimes. But very, very loyal and a friend, Sarah. Very moral. And Johnny Fox, what you want in a wacky little robot friend. He was loyal and would mostly the right thing. Of course, he destroyed everything. He's kind of like a new puppy, just wrecking the house. That was part of the humor. And I think a lot of this was directed at the younger audience. A lot of the slapsticks. So he served their purpose. He was funny and he was a lot of fun. I wouldn't having him around. Back to net, WB50ZL.
Okay, Brenda, I think you're right. I think the number 5 is a lot of fun, and he's very lovable, and I think generally, yeah, the Terry type characters in this are pretty stereotypical. You've got to kind of antagonists that are just like a brick wall. You're not going to change their minds. I'll give a couple comments about characters for the end, and let's check with Cruz. Cruz, yeah, I5 KWG. What do you think about these characters?
KI5 KWG. Again, KI5 KWG. Not much to add about the Ali Sheedy, Steve Gutenberg. I thought except to say that the director had Gutenberg toning down in his normal characterization and pumping up Ali Sheedy, especially if she was with the robot. And, almost a alternate personality sort of thing going with the Sheedy character, or the Seth character. My main thing was I really liked GWB character. He's playing a policeman, almost always. Actually, my favorite character he played was the sidekick in Rustler's Rhapsody, which was a movie I just love. And he's a tech, by the way. But I didn't remember him in this film, and I didn't recognize him as the same one who played the lieutenant and later a captain in the police series, which I think is how most people know W. Bailey. And so it was what's all his name on the open credits. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun, because I really didn't remember the movie, not much of it, years later, and 40. And but his story was so bland. It was so dull, distant, and just played a bad guy. And there was no comedy to it, which is like his specialty. That was very disappointing. And that's an overriding thing when I was thinking about the characterization, how disappointed I was that a favorite actor was disappointing. That's I've got KI5 KWG back to net.
KI5WG in the vest. Okay, well that's interesting. I've not met a whole lot of GWW fans. I do remember him as him and Steve Gutenberg almost were pulled directly from Police Academy and suffered similar roles, as of playing off of each other, antagonize each other. And that's interesting to hear your thoughts on his role specifically. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I think it's neat how everybody's kind of coming at it from different angles. And I'm just kind of check him out in some other roles because he was a long time character actor, and I think he is a pretty good actor. So thank you. Let's check with Jay. AG5BZ. What do you think about the characters? AG5BZ to Jay, are you still around in 5S?
For transmitting Echolink did it really weird. and they refused to give me the trans button, but now it's working. So yeah, that contrasts the precision, and it looks like CNC controls, and all the factory building of all the components for the robot versus when the robot becomes actually it just kind of goes crazy and as well with its aim, it just doesn't have that seems to have that fine control, or maybe it does have fine control, but not in the way that, well, I can't really land the list that just blows up because of the bowl and everywhere, and it's like of course it's not programmed to do that, so of course I mean that's the bummer of it, and it's kind of funny that the contrast there, precision versus it gains in the end, it kind of loses it. Okay, yeah. Fisher even character both love and hate the character. And it is an obvious to me that I went to UTA. There was a lot of the engineering side. So of course, back in 1986, I wouldn't know when I was a kid. But I love and hate the character because awkward the actor and it's like it really is kind of stereotypes that maybe aren't so good, but there's some really good aspects too. I just love the constant translated idioms that Ben character that character does, and for Schroeder was just I had to pause the movie on so much on that. It's obvious fun or whatever. Not really fun. I don't call it that. It's almost fun, I guess. But that was good. There's just so many years that character had, and of course, I mean, besides the, okay, so some of the other characters are covered. But yeah, I'll just end on yes, the number 5. Yes, the topic is just amazing. I already alluded to that. I'm in 3, and I may call it he has some pretty good jokes as well. Yes, I know. They do borrow up from the Three Stooges because it is physical comedy with the robot. But it works. It works. Can't complain much about it. So it's just a war machine. This wacky, lovable football. So it did its job. And I'll head back to the control MV5F.
MV5W and MV5F. Okay, Jay. And you made a good point about Ben and linguistic challenges, but I think the way they did that character didn't make it general that he had some challenges that made for some funny one-liners and plays on words, and they threw a little off-color humor in there, and a very typical 80s thing to do, to throw a little bit of juvenile humor in there for the older kids, I guess. But yeah, I think that number 5 is you also made a good point of contrast between his person as a war machine and the control he had and the power he had under control, under his own control, just because of his moral choices, ethical choices. But he also was very fish out of water, and some people have even argued that Ben kind of fesses him out and keeps the other end of the movie more interesting, where it's not just Secret Berg, who I think is pretty good in this movie, and I think character does have some. He takes initiative. He's not just like, oh, I'm just a nerd, and I'm just going to let these military people run over him. He's interested enough in what's happening. Robot he created, that he actually does kind of take charge, and I like that about his character. And Stephanie's fair charge, and she's kind of a little angry. You know, I like that number 5 kind of softens her a little bit and gets her to where she can really relate to New Crosby and kind of she changes. I think everybody changed a little bit. Except for the bad guys that change too much, but I don't want to go too far afield with my thought on characters, because I could for a long time about it. But what all you guys have said, because you guys have said them in ways that I definitely had never thought of. So anyway, it's getting late, and I'm watching Tom on YouTube, and I hope he's hanging for round 3. Do you have any more check-ins before I start into the 3rd and final round for short skits somehow?
I'll check in for the count. KF5, Papa Victor, Paul in Fort Worth.
Okay, AF5, Papa Victor, Paul, thank you for getting in for the count. And it's getting close to night, so let's get this underway. Round 3. So we can talk about special effects, practical effects, music, anything you want to talk about. Tom, K5ICX, do you have any parting shots? Short circuit here in round 3. Okay, and they heard Tom, and I am watching on YouTube, and it looks like he has gone night over there. So we'll move on to Bill, WB5BT. What do you have? Special effects or music or anything you'd like to talk about here for round 3?
Well, now I'm really bummed that I can't bring up YouTube and watch Tom being the guy who's flying. I'm kind of disappointed. No, I don't have anything really to say except my only complaint on the movie, the language, but I think that kind of par for the course for 80s. And obviously maybe now I'm maybe as a parent more attuned to this sort of thing. That was my only complaint. I loved the movie, and so I'm going to watch it again because after getting the visual descriptions and things from you guys, it always makes it a bit more fun for me. Delphi BLC, back to control.
Okay, thank you, Bill. And I remember when I was wanted to see this movie, and I watched a review of it before I went to see it. And it was on Good Morning America or something, and I remember that the critic who viewed it said this movie is just about perfect except for all the language that's in it. And I remember that, going into it, that was pretty typical in a PG-80s movie. It was like how many cuts where we get away with. So humorously, they try to make humor out of them in a movie like that. But yeah, movie this kind of hearted movie with this character that's so good and pure-hearted and like such your soul. You can definitely do without the things that a lot of people they had to have in movies back to keep people's attention. So that's an interesting comment. I appreciate that comment, and I will say that Tom looks very peaceful. He looks really serene, and I hope he's dreaming about something like maybe something nice like that. So thank you very much, Bill, and I hope you enjoyed the meet again. And before we move on, I'm actually gonna tell a story, a little short story. I know of a guy in the UK who has actually the replica of 5, and he takes it around to some science conventions. And one of the ones he was at, he met a gentleman who blind, and he had grown up listening to Short Circuit. It was one of his favorites, and when he realized he was in the presence of a replica of 5, working with friend Ryan, his build robot actually showed him the robot, like took him on a tour, a tour, let guy like touch all the different parts of the robot so that he could kind of quote unquote see what number 5 looked like after all those years. That would be. I actually have a dream of trying to build a rep number 5 myself. So, I heard that story today, and I was just moved because I have to get really close to them to see them well. I'm grateful to see the way I do. It makes me appreciate that you can get something out of that and get back to the movie and watch again and have a little bit more to go on. So thank you for your comments. Next 20 in 5 p.m. Your comments for Rent 3.
Well, thank you. I think to actually touch and feel the replica would be pretty neat. It's a very, even if you can't see, it's a very expressive prop. There are some robots that in film and television that are simply not very interesting, and not one of those. It could change posture in so many ways, and could look threatening or be a great concept. So 5 was of course the strong part of this movie for so many of us, I'm sure, in a very good way. And yes, it's actually kind of funny reading the amount of bad language in a movie, because you don't want it to have no bad language, because then at some reason then it makes it unmarketable. I remember that one of Star Trek movies, maybe the first generation movie, where the Enterprise crashes into a or something. They deliberately included one bad word said very loudly to make sure that the movie would get a PG-13 rating, that make more marketable. Okay. I don't have a very strong opinion about language, good or bad. It's just amusing me to note how it's used for marketing purposes and targeting. The weakest thing about this movie for me was a lot of incidental music. This was an era when movies worked very hard to sell cassette tapes and records, and sometimes, like in one of my favorite 80s movies, The Lost Boys, which is basically a series of music videos with vampires in them, it worked well because I read the music. This movie didn't do that. So much of the music was just the music over the end credits was astonishingly forgettable. I'd forgotten it even existed. But a happy thing that I noticed, just as the 25 parachutes to Snack Shack, is how Lilu arrives in the cab in the fifth elevator. Maybe there's always something good when protagonist enters your life by gravity propulsion. NTTM.
Okay, thank you, Tony. And I'll save some of my comments for the end, just about the robot. I kind of have to disagree about the music. It was the soundtrack, the score was interesting in that it was written by a guy, David Shire. He wrote the score for 2010 and used a lot of similar kind of synthesizers, I think, because this is a technology-based plot. But he also used some orchestra that I thought was very. He used harmonicas, which he did in several movie soundtracks. And the end credit song was kind of typical of this era of movies. They would have a pop song written based on the musical themes in the score. And the song "Come and Follow Me" at the end of Short Circuit is based on the melodies that are in the score of Short Circuit, and that struck me very, very strongly when I was a kid. And I said, and what really got me is that they didn't have a soundtrack for this movie. It had the song "Johnny" in it. That was a song they wanted to kind of be a hit, so they put it in Circuit, and then they had the song at the end. And other than that, they didn't really have a budget for pop music, so they couldn't put together a soundtrack. But I thought the score wore pop songs at the end score. But they did eventually release a score for this in a limited edition of about 5 copies in 2008, I believe, and I do have a copy of it. I kind of don't share your opinion about the music, but it didn't have the themes that a movie does. It had kind of one theme that kind of covered the whole soundtrack, and it was an interesting mix, tech and orchestra. So to me anyway. Okay, go on to Brenda. W5OZL. We're parting shots on Short Circuit.
This is W5OZL. It's interesting. Lightning hits a robot and he becomes sentient. If he hits my computer, it lies there and just doesn't start talk or dance or anything. You just wonder if maybe that's a possibility with the lightning. That's that's a commonly used trope. Short Circuit was, after all these years, we have such graphics now that we kind of took things for granted, and in its day, that was pretty amazing what they did with him. You almost believed it was real, that he could get and talk and run and all that, and it was. I just thought it was the special effects on him were just amazing. Well, that's all I have to say, so I'll stop there. WB50ZL.
Okay, thanks, Brenda. I agree. I think that the practical effects can still hold up. And I will comment on that at the end when it's really my turn. So let's see check with Cruz. Cruz, what do you have to say? What's your comment for round 3? KI5KWG 55F.
KI5KWG. That robot. So, that was the specialist involved for that robot was really. Oh, Tom's was my type. Tom has left the building. The YouTube video. Anyway, sorry. That robot. Not much. I've seen it matched it. It was interesting design, and the way it could do expressions was necessary for the plot, and they just did a fine job My question kind of in this category, I wanted to know the story of the boat you see in a chase scene without shouldn't it's listing or something. They're tied up at at a dock, and I think it's like a Coast Guard boat, but I was hoping that it's another scene, and I'm looking for it and didn't. I was wondering if any of y'all know what it was. I'd be interested in hearing the story of it. That's what I've got. KI5 KWG. Back to net.
KI5 KWG. Are you referring to the boat that's in the background, and number 5 is like a scene in the movie when he's at the gas station? Because if you are, the boat was actually moved to a place across the Columbia River over in Washington, and my friend Mike and I in 2003 we drove across the bridge over there and actually went and found that boat, and I get to see that boat. So I think that might be the boat you're talking about. I don't remember the boat or what story is as to why it was there and then got moved, but I think that's what you're talking about. So I could probably check with Mike. I think the story about the boat. All right. Hey, BG5, BZW, what do you have to say for the last round here?
KG5 BGW. I got distracted because I started thinking about the Chris, the end. There seems to be a few scenes in those credits, like they're scenes that film, but quite make it into the story or something. But I going through IMDb, I don't get any details on it, but or maybe I'm just in the wrong place. This I probably. For better, probably steer me toward engineering or whatever, just because I wanted to know how the heck he did this. It would have been, I probably would more steered for film as well if it had been for certain, I could go. There's another conversation I could have about certain things that I don't want to get into. But yeah, practical effects just like just amazing. I'm not really saying anything that hasn't already said. But I want to bring in something and say that story about that built the number 5 replica. That was a cool touch for tonight. I wanted to personally thank you for that because that's a really cool thing too. Music was just fine. It wasn't great. I didn't think it wasn't terrible either. It worked. I mean, just the puppetry, the effects of the robot, just fantastic. That's all I can think of right now. KG5 BGW.
KGBZW, indeed, thank you. And yes, you did catch that there were a couple of scenes that they ran during the credit. I think just so many funny takes that they didn't use, and did have a little sequence in the script that they did film that didn't make it into the movie, probably for reasons. And then you said something about I do survive has inspired a lot of people to go into engineering. And Short Circuit is actually the movie that ultimately inspired me towards taking my degree in film years ago. So It's kind of neat how it influences people in different ways. Tom, I see you're awake. Do you want to say anything for 3? If you don't, I will completely understand. D5F.
Yeah, I was busted. I kind of fell asleep there for a few minutes. How today? Well, special effects I mentioned. I motored over the Johnny 5. I said it was excellent, well done. There is also David Shire's score. Sometimes now he's still around. He's part of the Silver Age of the big 4 motion pictures. Done zillion scores. Hindenburg is one of them that you might remember. The Conversation that Francis Ford Coppola he did that with his best known bunch of others here. He did some of the music, the orchestral pieces for Saturday Night Fever, believe it or not, on a few other films. He's not as well known as people like Jerry Goldsmith or John Williams or any of those, but he's a very good composer. What happens in this film, though, is interesting. Is that sometimes they request, especially with early electronic or science fiction films that have kind of a technology thing, to go with that, what today would be very primitive score, electronic score. So why waste your talent and have something like that? So. He had a good guy here that didn't get that real great opportunity to really show off his usual skills. But at any rate, that's all I want to say about that Shire is he's retired now. Well, yeah, he's retired. The last thing he did was actually in 2017, which is pretty darn good. But that's all I wanted to add to the thing. And I'm going to add. Oh no, I'll tell you what the movie is in a minute. E5I6, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tom. I appreciate you, Sin. Tony has mentioned the score and the music, and I talked a little bit about David Shire. He did this right on the heels of the score for 2010, which was all electronic. So that's probably one of the reasons they chose. And also, John Badham also directs Saturday Night Fever, which also appeared in the movie Short Circuit. Like, we want to see number 55 Dan, and John Badham goes, I know what movie he could be watching. So that all connects together. It's kind of a neat little thing. So thank you for your comments. I'm going to chime in with mine as briefly as can. I agree with the number of did steal the show, just kind of the whole point of it, and he is a really neat marriage of exhibitive and practical. The basic design for him was done by Eric Allard, who's the guy who built him. He was head engineer that pulled all the team together to build him. Some of the concept for him was done by Sidney, who is a big futurist artist who the work in 2010. But I would credit Eric Allard and John Badham for his expressivity, and they made it look like a crack part of his function to have those flaps, shield his eyes from the sun if he's trying to aim with his big crazy laser, and the treads that he rolls around on, and then so he can get tall or short, and has these really good articulated hands. But it's all amazingly practical and expressive at the same time, and then the puppeteers just made all that real. And there were several different versions of the run built for close-ups or far away or stunt shots, and I still think he holds up. And there are people around the world building replicas of him now, and the technology is so that now it's a lot more straightforward for somebody who's even not even an engineer. There are some mechanical engineers out there, and just because of the movie that to do replica stuff, and there's some replica going on. But it's late. Elvis has the building, and it's time for us to the building too. So are there any more absolutely final parting shots on short bit before we let Tom go to bed? Please come home.
5 p.m.
Quebec Alpha.
Okay, we had Tony. We had a station ending in Quebec Alpha. Can you come again with your call?
November Sierra Quebec Alpha. I just want to tuck Tom in. Good night. 5SQA clear.
Okay, thank you much. In 5SU, I appreciate you get on the list. And Tony, what's your comment?
Well, thank you again, and I want to apologize. I did not want to pick on the score. I just wanted to pick on the pop music, which didn't happen to work for me, in my opinion. But I did actually enjoy the score itself. NTD 5TM.
Kilo India 5, Kilo Whiskey Golf.
And remember at the time, of course, I loved Short Circuit completely. You couldn't have. I would have sold it the door when I was a teenager. Someone let me. But I like the score, and I like the song at the end that it ties into the score, melodic, and I love the song Who's Johnny, but I would also there had been more pop music in it, and there could have been a proper cassette that I could have bought at the record store. I would have been on cloud 9 if this is the case, so I have to agree with you a little bit there. Anyway, thanks all for joining, and I was so happy to run this net as Short Circuit's favorite, and it's so wonderful to hear what everybody else has to say, and hopefully we can chat about it more in the future. Thank you, Tom, for hanging in there, and I will let you finish up the announcement next week's movie, and everybody have a good evening. This is in 5S.
Well, thank you, Virginia, and thank you for doing a really good net. This is KE5ICX. I won't belabor the next week's movie. Is 74, so it's been a while. It's a fun movie. I'll send all the stuff to the usual locations, so we'll see you then. KE5ICX. I'm clear. I'm going to bed. Good night.
Yeah, I thought KWGG, Virginia. Was that boat called USS High Point?
KI5KWG Indy 5. I don't remember the name of the boat, but I can